Let's give it a try. We're live in Central Park. Hey people, welcome. It's raining. We're in Central Park in New York. Thanks for watching. I'm suffering for you guys, suffering for you. We're at the very beginning of the park here. You can see behind me some big buildings. Those are the buildings that are being built now in a place called Billionaires Row, I believe on 58th or 57th Street. I can't remember. Anyway, my name is Luke, and this is going to be a live class, more of a tour through Central Park, in the rain obviously, and an English Q&A. So two things, we'll be talking about some stuff about Central Park as we walk through it, and also I'll be answering any English questions you may have, pronunciation, culture, grammar, phrases, whatever it may be. Ask your questions. And don't forget, give the video a like if you like it. If you don't like it, then give it a thumbs down. Because if you don't like it, then it doesn't deserve a like. And also, if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe. Hey, Sleepwalker's here. Okay, wait a few minutes before we start moving. I've got an umbrella here because it's raining. There's a kind of, I don't know what this would be, some sort of natural gazebo of sorts. I think this thing would be called a gazebo. And it might offer some protection in the rain. We'll see. But then again, maybe not, because the roof is kind of, well, the roof is just made of trees. So maybe not. No, I'm still getting wet. Zero protection. This is a useless gazebo. Useless gazebo, made of trees. Great. What's the point of having a roof if it's not going to protect you from the rain? Stupid. A stupid gazebo, eh? Stupid. So let me just kind of lay out the plan for today. If you're looking at a map of Central Park, and no, Sleepwalker, I don't often walk in Central Park because I kind of live far away. So no, I do walk in the park, a park, but not this one. We are on about 59th Street. If you look at the beginning of Central Park on 59th Street and 5th Avenue, you will see basically around where we are. And then we're going to be walking north. This park, if you look at it from above, from a map, if you're looking at it in a map, you'll see a giant rectangle. That's what it's shaped like. It's a huge rectangle, and it's perfectly shaped because Central Park is completely artificial. That doesn't mean that the trees are made of plastic. What it means is this was not just here and then they made a road. They designed the whole park. They planted tens of thousands of trees. They moved rocks around, giant rocks around. They blew things up. They shaped the landscape. They planted the trees. Everything here is designed, and it was designed in the mid-1800s. So in the mid-1800s, some guy, I actually don't remember his name, basically a park planner figured out how they were going to, oh wow, look at that, they're moving a bunch of porta potties. There must be an event happening. That's a lot of bathrooms. I wonder if there are people pooping in all of those right now. I doubt it. They're probably empty. But clearly they're going to have an event. Interesting. I wonder where they're moving those. Anyway, we'll go that way. Maybe we'll see where those porta potties are going. Interesting. Yeah, so the planner said, okay, we're going to create a road here. We're going to blow up some things here. We're going to move some big rocks over there. We're going to bring up some of the very old bedrock that's, you know, millions of years old. We're going to put that over there. And so they shaped the landscape and they built this beautiful park called Central Park. The lakes are artificial too. They carved out the lakes. They decided where the lakes would go. They put in the bridges. So I think that's interesting. And that's back in the 1800s. So they're really concerned about parks even back then. I think it's pretty cool. All right, so let's get started. I want to say where I'm going. So on the northwest side of Central Park, there is a monument. Well, actually, there are two things we're going to see. We're going to try to see. One is Strawberry Fields. Now, if you don't know Strawberry Fields, this is where the sort of memorial to John Lennon is. John Lennon was one of the Beatles, one of the most important members of the Beatles. Hey, Lolly Lolly. And he was shot and killed outside of his home. The home is a building near Central Park called the Dakota Building. He was shot and killed in the 1970s by a crazy guy. And so they created this memorial based on a song called Strawberry Fields. So the memorial to John Lennon, and maybe Lolly Lolly can be my person or word writer today. So they created this memorial to John Lennon. Hello, Manoj, hello. And so it's there, and we're going to go check it out. Usually there are tourists who come to Central Park just to see Strawberry Fields, the memorial to John Lennon. If you haven't heard the song Strawberry Fields, or maybe it's called Strawberry Fields Forever, I don't know, I can't remember the official song title, but it's a good song. You should listen to it. Then there's also an ancient Egyptian monolith made of stone that was brought from Egypt to Central Park and placed in Central Park. And it's something like, I guess it's maybe 6 meters high, maybe? It's pretty tall. And we'll check that out too if we can find it. So anyway, let's get it moving. Let's go. So it's raining. I've got my umbrella. If you see this, it's my umbrella. I brought one that, oh my God, I brought one that I could carry easily. And I also have my selfie stick. See, here is what's called Billionaires Row. These buildings are very tall, and you can see they're very thin, right? Look, you can't even see the top of them. They're currently building this one, and they're building that one. That one was recently finished. And then there's one over there, which is 432, maybe it's 432 something Avenue. Oh, it's being covered by a cloud right now. I think that's the ugliest building in New York City. It's shaped like a giant middle finger. It looks like a middle finger from far away. I think it's quite ugly. But anyway, if you want to buy a penthouse or a home in that building, it'll probably cost you about $20 million to $40 million, maybe more. And these, if you want to buy a home in one of these, 20 to 60 probably $1 million. This is all on one street or one or two streets, those big buildings that are going up. And they're thin because they could only buy one lot, right? They buy one square basically, and then they build these huge buildings. This is called Billionaires Row. Billionaires Row. Because, why? Because billionaires can buy houses there and nobody else can. I actually met one of the guys who lives in that one, the ugly one. Yeah, the ugly one. Where is it? That one, the middle finger one. He lives there. We're not friends, but I met him a couple times, and he said, I said, how is it? And he said, it's nice. Great. I would hope it's nice if you're going to spend, $20 million on a penthouse. Anyway, so we're moving away from the beginning of the park. You can see these big stones behind me. Now, these big stones are basically bedrock. These big stones are something between 200,000 and 1 million. No, sorry. I was right the first time. 200 million and a billion years old. Very old. Bedrock. Ancient bedrock. Many of these gigantic stones that form the landscape of Central Park were here before, as they are, but many of them were brought up, moved to form the landscape of the park. All of these trees were planted. These trees were not here. People were living here. So they use these gigantic old bedrock boulders and stones to kind of create the landscape of the park. And I think that makes it more interesting. Anyway, it's a really beautiful park. Greetings from Algeria, hello. If you have the chance to visit New York, Central Park is probably one of the places you want to go. On one side of the park, there are lots of great museums along the park. On one side is the Natural History Museum. You can see dinosaur fossils, things like that. On the other side of the park, I have to be careful here because it's kind of slippery. It's this giant old rocks. The other side of the park is the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which is personally my favorite museum in New York. It's amazing. I've got to be very careful here so I don't fall down and make myself look like an idiot. Okay. Good, very good. We'll go to the road here and we'll walk along the road for a little bit and then we'll move off of the road. So if you guys have any questions about anything, again, this is also an English Q&A, so the park is kind of a thing to do, but if you have any questions about grammar, pronunciation, or culture, or whatever, ask your questions, and I will do my best to answer them. Now, obviously, the park is not busy today, and I think it's probably for two reasons. Number one, because it's pretty cold. Number two is because it's raining. I think those are the two reasons. It's also Sunday, but I guess Sunday would be a good time to go to Central Park. During the summer, there's so many people walking around. Someone said, "Why are you here when it's raining?" Good question. Well, I put a poll up on my YouTube because I do a live stream every Sunday, right? I put a poll up on my YouTube and people voted. I think we had about 70 votes and everyone voted for Central Park. So I am willing to live up to my promises. If I say we're going to do what the votes say, then we'll do what the votes say. So here we are. Yeah, I have Instagram. My Instagram is luke.priddy. By the way, if you guys haven't already, hit the like button and subscribe. Also, oh yeah. So this is the map. Dinesh, I'll answer your question in a minute. I'm just going to look at the map here. Okay, so we are here. We're here. That's good. And I want to go here, Strawberry Fields. Okay, so we need to kind of walk in that direction. And where's the monolith? The monolith might be here. So we might go from Strawberry Fields and then kind of keep walking. Oh, we can walk by Tavern on the Green. So Tavern on the Green is a very famous restaurant, and they always have horses outside of Tavern on the Green. So maybe we can check that out too. Why don't we go straight and then by the lake? That'll be a good idea. I think that's a good way to do it. Okay. Oh, we got a lot of questions coming in. Guys, I'm going to answer your questions. Just give me a minute. I'm going to find my direction first, okay? Find my direction. Oh, there's a horse behind me. You can get these horse rides. If you want to see how much they cost, I'm just curious. I've never done one before, but I'm curious how much they cost. Nice max rate. Between $21 and $54. Okay, so if you want to ride around in Central Park, then you have to pay up to $54. Yikes, that's expensive. It's not P-R-E-T-T-Y. My family name is P-R-I-D-D-Y. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Luke, Luke.priddy. That's my Instagram. It's also my email account. I don't know why you would want to email me, but you can email me there, I guess. And I'm not very active on Instagram, but whatever. You're welcome to follow me. I usually post lots of pictures of my cats. So let me answer a couple of your questions as we kind of walk along and try to find Tavern on the Green and Strawberry Fields. These bridges are pretty cool. Oh, I wanted to mention one thing. If you guys want to see what this place looks like at night, I posted a video a couple of months ago called Describing Fear or something like that. How to Describe Fear. Something like that. You can check out my video archive. You can check out my recent videos and look a couple months ago. There's one where it's kind of black and white with a red sign and I'm like this. We filmed, my brother and I filmed a scary movie here in Central Park, and you can check it out. We did it as an English video for how to describe fear. So if you're interested, it's kind of a short film we made. You can check that out. Sir, I have been studying history for 1 second. Well, that's not very long. It's hard to learn a lot of things about history if you only study it for 1 second. But I guess everything starts somewhere, so best of luck. Hi, Luke, and everybody. Raining weather in Central Park. Yes, it is. Okay, I'm going to try to get to some of the questions if I can do that with my other hand while I'm holding the umbrella. What's the difference between I'm going through amid trees or I'm going through in midst of trees? Neither. Unfortunately. What's the difference between splashing and splattering? Okay, that's a good question. Okay, so if you want to say splattering, that's about the effect of something visible on a surface. Splatter. Okay, so for example, a car drives by and there's a mud puddle maybe on the street and I'm standing beside the street and the car splashes the mud puddle onto me. But now I am splattered with mud. So if we want to talk about what the mud looks like on me, right? It's many little brown dots all over my clothes because of the mud puddle being splashed by the car. We can use splatter to describe that. Often when we're talking about, for example, painting, when we're talking about paintings, there's a famous painter, his name was Jackson Pollock, and he painted pictures not so much with a paintbrush as just sort of throwing paint onto the canvas. You could call that splattering paint onto the canvas. So a lot of modern paintings are kind of splattering different colors of paint onto the canvas, and we could describe the canvas as splattered with paint. So that's basically the difference. And when you splash something, then you're sort of throwing water, or maybe using your foot to move water, or a car is moving water and the water is moving suddenly, but we're not focused on the effect of the water, how it's landing, what it looks like when it lands. And that's what we're doing when we use splatter. So there's a puddle here and I splash the puddle, okay, but nothing is being splattered. And we don't usually use splatter when we're talking about water, because water is transparent. Water doesn't leave a stain. Water usually doesn't have a color if it's just water. So we typically won't use the word splatter when we talk about water. Just say, oh, I got wet. I got wet because you splashed water on me. Hope that answers your question. Okay, now we're moving into a more, I guess this is a more natural area. So, hello from Turkey, hello. So this is, you can see there's a horse carriage over there, putting a horse in there. We're getting farther away from these buildings now. This is a more kind of natural area. Now there's a zoo over there. It's a very small zoo. So if you went, you might be disappointed. It's kind of something to do with your kids. A lot of people who visit Central Park maybe, or New York City, will take their kids to the zoo just to keep them busy. And I do remember one story about the zoo. I think it was in the 1900s or maybe the late 1800s. There was a fake report that the zoo animals were loose and running around the city, but it wasn't real. It was made up just to scare people. And I don't know why it happened, but apparently that happened. Wow, there's a big open field there. What does the word tentative mean? Tentative means it could easily change. It's not permanent. It could be adjusted. So if you have tentative plans, for example, then you might eventually decide not to do that. Big field. That's a nice view. If it weren't raining, it would be beautiful. So if I say, yeah, I've got tentative plans, we might be going to a concert later, and then we cancel. Well, it's okay because our plans were just tentative and we weren't, really set on our plans. Maybe we didn't care too much about our plans, and it's easy to change, right? So if I say, I'm tentatively planning to go to Central Park to do my live stream, that means maybe I'll change my mind because it's raining and go somewhere else that's indoors or do something else, right? So tentative is sort of like there right now, but quite easy to change in the future. It's uncertain, not totally clear. I think we could say it like that. Let's see, which way do we want to go? Someone asked, did I go to New York City? Did I study in New York City? So actually, I'm not from New York. I live here now. It's actually kind of stopped raining, I think, kind of. I'm actually from Ohio, which is another state in the Midwest. And so I went to university in Ohio. And I almost went to university here in New York. I went to visit a couple schools, NYU and a school called Baruch. Finally decided not to and went to school in Ohio. There's bunch of horses coming. Oh, cool. I know, there's a squirrel. Hello, Mr. Squirrel. Hello, Mr. Squirrel. What are you doing there, buddy? What are you doing? Eating nuts? Cool. How do you occupy your time versus how do you occupy your time is correct. I'm studying in Baruch and I'm from Beijing. Oh, that's cool. Got a New Yorker is here. What the heck are you doing here? You can say at Baruch. Sometimes people say at, sometimes people say in. Both are okay. Yeah, I almost went to Baruch as well. From what I hear, it's a pretty good school. My question would be, why the heck are you watching a live stream of someone in your own city? What's wrong with you? What does the phrase "for the time being" mean? Oh, that's a good question, actually. Robert Burns. Who is Robert Burns? Cool guy. For the time being is also similar to tentative in a way, in the sense that it could easily change. So someone says, well, for the time being, let's just walk downtown and then maybe we'll figure out a place to go. So we can't decide what we're gonna do maybe for lunch with friends, okay? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? I don't know. All right, well, for the time being, let's just start walking, and then I think we'll figure something out. So for the time being is kind of like, let's just do something right now, okay? And we'll figure it out as we go. It's also related to something that's kind of temporary, a temporary plan, a thing that can easily be changed, something that maybe will allow us to make a different plan in the future. So that's how we use for the time being. It's also focused on the moment. For the time being, we are looking for a way to turn left. Our final goal is to get to Strawberry Fields, somewhere over there. But for the time being, we're just trying to find a way to turn left. So there I'm kind of trying to focus on the next choice, not the final goal, but just the next choice. What is the word irate very common? That's a good question. Irate means furious, very angry, very upset. I wouldn't say it's very common, but I think it's worth knowing because people do use it. You often see it in literature especially, maybe not so much in everyday spoken English, but in literature, yeah, you see it. Ooh, okay, I think I finally know where we're going. We're going to try to go left a little bit, and that will allow us to get to the John Lennon Memorial, because I think that building over there is the Dakota, maybe. You see that building there? See that building with the 2 points right there? I think. I could be wrong, but I think that's the Dakota. And as I said before, the Dakota is where, that's where John Lennon used to live, and that's where in front of the Dakota is where he was killed by a crazy guy who thought that a book told him to kill John Lennon. Now that's crazy. Squirrels are everywhere. Lolly Lolly, what's the difference between a trade, profession, occupation, and a job? Ooh, that's kind of a tough one. Trade, profession, occupation, and job. Okay, so when people talk about a trade, they're often talking about, you could also say a vocation, right? Trade or vocation is often related to blue-collar work. Okay, blue-collar work is often something related to skills with your hands, right? So a trade, a vocation, we could say a plumber, a car mechanic, maybe a builder, something like that, a woodworker, someone who does things with their hands. And so when people say, that's my trade, there's more of a focus on a craft or a thing that's done with the hands. That's usually how people use it. Now, a profession, generally speaking, is not a specific job that you do at a specific company, but it's the same as saying your field. What's my profession? Well, my profession actually is I'm a teacher. I make courses, and I teach English. That's my profession. I could be doing it in many different forms, though. Sometimes maybe I would get a job. Sometimes I would teach for different people. Sometimes teach on YouTube. Sometimes make courses. Whatever I happen to be doing, my profession remains the same. My field remains the same. The same. My mouth is getting closed. I can't speak very well. So, profession and field are more about. They're more about the kind of thing that you do, regardless of what you're doing right now. But often, job is the specific place where you work, right? So, what's your job? Oh, I teach maybe philosophy at Oxford University. Oh, hey, we got disconnected there for a second. Hope it's okay now. Weird. It's okay now. Yeah, so the job is what you're doing now, what you're getting paid for now. Where you work now. Okay, and then the other one was, what was the other one? The other one was, Lolly Lolly said, oh, where's Lolly Lolly's question? Where is it? Oh, trade, profession, occupation. Oh, occupation is similar to, I guess, profession. So occupation and profession are basically the same thing. Oh, wait a second. This is not the way I want to go. I want to go that way. But I do want to show you this. I think that, I could be wrong. I think that this is the site of the big concert. So one of the biggest concerts of all time was held in Central Park. It was Garth Brooks' concert. He's a country singer, quite famous, I guess, for people who like country music. And it was a free concert. And I think it was, I don't know if it was in the 90s, maybe, or early 2000s. But 980,000 people came to the concert. That's almost 1 million people at the concert in Times Square, which is a crazy number. And I think, could be wrong, but I think that's the stage. Again, I could be totally wrong. It might be a different stage, but I think it might have been that one there. And then all of this would have just been, 980,000 people. There's another stage over there, and it might have been that one over there. I'm just not 100% sure which one, but I didn't have time to look it up. So if one of you wants to look up Garth Brooks' record-breaking concert or biggest concert ever, you can do that. Also, some of you might be fans of the TV show called Friends, right? Now, in that show, if you're a fan of Friends, I'm not a huge fan. I've seen, plenty of episodes. Rachel works at a coffee shop called Central Perk. Now, that is a pun. A pun is when one word sounds like another word, right? Central Park sounds like Central Perk. And if you drink coffee, you perk up, right? So that's why it's called Central Perk. Now, a lot of people wonder, is it real? Is Central Perk a real coffee shop and they filmed there? No, there is no coffee shop near Central Park called Central Perk. That was made up. The show was filmed in Los Angeles, not in New York. And so that is, for those who want to visit the actual location, that is going to be disappointing. I mean, it is set in New York. Friends is set in New York. So is Seinfeld, if you like that show. Both set in New York. But Central Perk is not a real coffee shop. And Friends did not actually, as far as I know, they didn't really film that much in New York City. I think they filmed most of the show in Los Angeles. So, sorry, no Central Perk. Although they did at one point build a replica store somewhere, but I think it went out of business and is not open anymore. Someone built a replica store. In Beijing, there's a replica store called Central Perk, where they designed the kitchen area to look like the show. It's not very realistic, to be honest. It's too small. But anyway, that's a fun fact. Why do people use in the video and sometimes on the video? I don't know. I generally use in the video. Usually in should be the right word. I guess some people might say on. It's okay. Both are okay. I don't know why both are okay, but both are okay. Sometimes I don't know why things are, right? Why are things the way they are in spoken English? Who knows? Some things are it just is. It happens, and so it becomes part of the language. And there isn't a satisfying answer. Sometimes there are clear rules, right? Why is it this way? Why is this English phrase the way it is? Or where did this word come from? Or why is this grammar like this? And I can explain very clearly why. Sometimes things just happen naturally and it becomes common and people say it. And at that point you have to just say, I don't know. Just accept that it's both, I guess. some tourists. See some tourists. Looks like maybe, I think they're speaking Korean. Some Korean tourists visiting New York. Ah, students. Nice. Cool. All right, we got to get back to our path. I wish there was a map around here somewhere because I'm a little lost, but I think we're gonna go left over there. I'll get to your questions, guys, in a minute. Oh, I did want to mention one thing. If you haven't already, I would really appreciate if you could hit the like button. That'd be great. Hit the like button. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Except for JS, don't subscribe. Not you. You're already here. You have no need for this channel. No, you can if you want to. Anyway, hit the like button, subscribe. If you haven't already, make sure you check out the links. I do want to mention one thing about my courses. So, the Black Friday sale has started. And that means that all of the courses on Udemy, not only my courses, all Udemy courses are in dollars, $9.99. Okay? All of them. So if you're going to buy any Udemy courses to improve yourself, now is the time. Now is the time to buy them. Okay? I'm buying several courses. My wife is buying several courses. Just because this is the biggest sale that Udemy does all year. It's the Black Friday sale. So if you want to check out my courses, you can do that in the link in the description. So there should be a Udemy link in the description of this video, and you can click on that. And I recently launched a full course. It's a 15-hour course. 15-hour course about spoken English, written English, emails, presentations. A huge course. Very, very long, very intensive course. And I have a bunch of other courses too. And right now, all of them are at the lowest possible price of $9.99. The regular price of that course is $179. So that's what, 96% off? Something like that. This is the biggest sale of the year. As I said, I'm buying a bunch of courses too, just because now's the time to do it. So yeah, Udemy is awesome, by the way. If you're working on skills, on your maybe computer skills, Photoshop, whatever it may be, you can learn it on Udemy pretty well. And I'm one of the teachers on Udemy, and I don't work for them. I just put my courses on Udemy. And so anyway, check that out. And like, subscribe. Yep. I think we're getting close, guys. I think we're getting close. I'm going to go back and look at the questions I may have missed. I missed a few questions there. Hey, Luke, I really like the way you teach us. You're the best. Oh, wow, that's so nice. JS said, what? Haha. Not a Spanish speaker, apparently. What's the difference between wondering and thinking? Maybe I'll answer that later. Between although, nonetheless, despite. I'm trying to find a more interesting question. Difference between. On the nose, very accurate. Oh, Lolly's question I'm going to answer now. Does on the nose mean very accurate? Yes. Yes, especially if we're talking about guesses, okay? So, and not only for guessing though, it can be about our actions too. So, for example, if you're supposed to be somewhere at 7:30 and you get there at 7:30 exactly, you can say I got there at 7:30 on the nose. That means I arrived at exactly 7:30. It's the exact time that I arrived. I was there at 7:30 on the nose. Okay? So it means exactly. But sometimes we're talking about guesses, right? So if someone says, How many people do you think are going to show up? And we say maybe to the party or whatever, we have a party, maybe 42, I don't know, 42, and 42 people exactly show up. Wow, you got it on the nose. You guessed it, on the nose. So it means exactly. Hope that's clear. So we can talk about guesses, we can talk about things that are precise, right? Wow, look at this. Now this is a view. We're gonna go down here. Guys, we're on the way, don't worry. We're going to Strawberry Fields, okay? But I apologize, we also, some interesting detours. We'll take a couple detours. We're in no major rush, right? Buildings are getting farther and farther away. I gotta be very careful because it's still wet and a little bit slippery. But this is a really nice view. This is a very nice view. Some people have a couple taking pictures, romantic pictures of each other over there. Very nice. Okay, now look at this. Now, as I said at the beginning, guys, this is all artificial. This is not a lake that was just here and they said, oh, well, let's build a park around this lake. This is all artificial. They carved out this whole area, okay, and allowed it to fill with water. This is an artificial lake in the sense that it wasn't here naturally. They put it here. That bridge is artificial, as are all bridges. They built that bridge. Very, very beautiful view, though. I mean, look at that. The orange and the yellow and the dead trees. That's very nice. Got some ducks. I don't know if you can see some ducks floating around on the lake. I think that's the Dakota, which is where we're going. No, you cannot go fishing in Central Park. That is illegal. If you go fishing, the police are allowed to kill you. I've seen the police kill several people who were fishing in boats. Sniper rifles, from far away, from the edge. People fishing and they just kapow! Kill them. Very serious. Can't fish in Central Park. Very bad. Very, very bad. Don't break the rules. They'll kill you. I don't think I need to say I'm joking, right? I hope I don't have to say that. I hope that's obvious. Oh, there's the fishing rules right here. Let's take a look. All right. The fence here. I just climb over it. Well, they hope they don't kill me for climbing over the fence. Welcome to Central Park. Please keep our lakes, streams, and ponds clean and healthy. Oh, clean and... Huh? Wait a second. Is this a typo? I gotta double check this. Please keep our lakes, streams, and ponds clean and health. That should be healthy, right? By obeying official rules. That's a typo. That's a typo. My God. That's a typo. They spelled it wrong. Oh, and I'm destroying the words. Oops. Oh my God. I'm causing lots of problems. All fishing is catch and release. Oh, maybe that means you can fish. Fish caught must be put back in the water immediately. Okay, so you can catch a fish, but you have to put it back. Use hooks without barbs. Barbed hooks are difficult to remove from fish and can injure them. Okay. Lead weights are not permitted. Oh, lead. Lead weights. I'm an idiot. Lead weights are not permitted. Lead is poisonous and can kill wildlife. To prevent birds from getting tangled or hurt, take all fishing line, fragments, and hooks. When you leave, do not leave any tackle behind. All violations will be subject to a summons. By the way, that doesn't mean killing. That means they'll take you to court and you have to maybe pay a fine. And I might have to pay a fine for messing up the sign with my finger. I didn't know that my finger would make it do that. And also there's a typo. So the city should be fined for not writing the word healthy there. Clean and health. Health is a noun. Clean is an adjective. Clean and healthy. Unbelievable. Guys, this is shocking. I'm shocked by this. I can't believe it. The city of New York official signs have typos. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Have you heard of the Preppy Killer in Central Park, 1986? I haven't heard of the Preppy Killer, but that short film that I made with my brother in Central Park was based on the sort of the idea that there were some people who got killed in Central Park, and you guys should check it out. I think you might like it. I like it anyway. We're right by the water. We're right by the water. See if there are any turtles. Sometimes there are turtles in here, just kind of swimming around. Ooh, look, berries. Do you guys think I should eat some of these berries? Do you think it'll be safe if I eat a few of these berries and just eat them and see what happens? I mean, you never know. It might be safe. It might be an interesting experiment. Man eats berries on live stream and dies. Oh God, we're on the wrong side of the lake. I'm trying to get over there to strawberry fields. All right, well, we'll just keep walking. I'm realizing that I went the wrong way again, so. Don't worry guys, I'm not gonna eat the berries. I was only joking. Not an idiot. Some ducks. Look at those ducks. Guys, seriously, what are you doing in the rain? What's wrong with you? Ducks. What's wrong with those ducks? All right. I think I'm trying to come to the edge of the lake so that I can walk around, you know. Family of ducks, that's right. A family of ducks. This is a nice little sitting area. Check this out. Luke, please take an elaborate class on punctuation marks. Actually, Milton, I know this is shameless promotion, but my course, Master English Fluency, which is now 95% off, discounted 95%, covers punctuation. There's a whole long lesson on how to describe symbols and punctuation and very technical things. And again, the whole course is 15 hours of video content. 15 hours. So that is in depth. If you guys want to seriously learn, I'm very proud of that course. I spent many months working on that course, and I can honestly recommend it. Dummy question. Those ducks or these ducks or those ducks? Oh, that's not a dumb question. That's a good question. So that's actually a very good question because it depends on the reference, right? When we say those or these, what do we mean by those or these? Because if we say those, we're saying something that's over there, right? Those people over there, right? Or these people over here. So it depends on if we want to say there or here often. But that's often also a matter of perspective, right? Because if I start to feel familiar with the ducks, and I consider the ducks a thing that we all know about, I might start to say these ducks, even if they're not close to me. Look at these ducks. Look at these ducks. They're swimming around in the rain. What's wrong with them, right? Because there's a sense of familiarity we're beginning to have with the ducks, even though they're not that close to me. Now, if they are very close to me, I probably will say these. And if they're far away, I probably, usually, if I don't know the ducks personally, will say those, right? Because we can see the ducks are there, right? There they are. I would probably say those ducks. So it's a very fuzzy thing and depends on your perspective. What is the line between these and those? What is the distance exactly? It's not clear. It's not clear. And often you can kind of decide what you want to do and which one you want to use. Okay, so the answer is there isn't a very clear answer. It depends on how you feel about the ducks. It depends on where the ducks are, how close they are to you, right? So, okay, let's talk about another example. Look at those buildings. Why did I just say those buildings instead of these buildings? Well, one, I'm very far from them, and I don't have any relationship to them, right? But if I'm very close to them, I might say, well, look at these buildings above me. Look at these buildings above me. Or because I'm talking about my city. I live in New York. These buildings in New York, you know, they're just for the wealthy. I don't like that they have no public spaces in them. You know, buildings in other cities have public spaces. Those buildings in other cities. So there, because I'm talking about my city, the reference is around me somehow, connected to me, because it's my city. So maybe I'll say these buildings. And I'm talking about maybe in Beijing or another city far away, I'll say those buildings. So again, we can really use it flexibly, but there's a feeling of around me-ness, even if it's not physically close, when I use these, and those are over there things, either physically far away or in some way not related to me. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense. I think it's about maybe, I don't know, 10 degrees. You can check. There's some writing on these posts here. Jonathan Hart's Denise. Jonathan Hart's Denise. And we have September 11th, 2019. Sam and Adam. It's a gay couple. Spike and Evelyn. Spike? The dog? I don't know any human beings named Spike. Evelyn and her dog. Let's see. Lexi and Jesse. Why do people only write these things? Does anybody want to write anything interesting? Is there anything interesting written over here? Everybody's just writing their couple's name. What should I write? I don't have anything to carve with. All right. I will make a mark, okay? It'll be here forever. I don't think I can write a word, but at least I can make a mark. This mark, if you come to Central Park in the future, you can find this place, you'll see this mark. Huh? Is that deep enough? Try to make an X. It's not sharp enough. Anyway, come to Central Park and look at these scratches, and you will know when they were made and by whom. Okay, guys, time to get moving. Yeah, check, see if the scratches are still there. Made by lukepriddy on this day, 2019. Near these ducks, or rather those ducks, these ducks, those ducks, whatever. And all right, let's go find strawberry fields. We got to keep moving. We got to keep moving. Sorry I didn't bring my knife today, guys. No knife. I don't usually carry a knife, but it's kind of stopped raining. Hello from Russia. I want to go back and see if I can catch any questions. Go back, find some questions that I missed. Guys, if you haven't, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe. Check out my courses. Big Udemy sale today, check that out. Oh, I missed the question, a lot of questions. What's the difference between wondering and thinking? That's a good one. So, wondering and thinking. Well, if I'm wondering something, it's often I'm curious, I have a sense of curiosity, and I'd kind of like to know the answer maybe to some question, and I don't have the answer now, right? So if I say to someone, maybe I know someone who's here, I'm wondering if you know how to get to Strawberry Fields. I'm wondering. It means I want to know the answer. I'm curious about that. I'm trying to find it, right? Well then, they might tell me, right? But if I'm thinking about something, then It doesn't mean I'm wondering something. I could be thinking about literally anything. Someone sees me looking over there with blank eyes, they might say, "What are you doing?" And then I might say, I'm just thinking about something." "What are you thinking about?" "Oh, I was just thinking about what I'm going to do after my live stream." "Oh, okay. I'm not wondering about anything. There isn't a question on my mind, right? There's no mystery that I need the answer to. But if I'm thinking about something, we could literally be talking about anything. Okay, whatever it is that is on my mind. Wondering has some mystery involved, some unanswered question. Okay, I think we're close to Strawberry Fields. On the ranch and in the ranch. I don't know, on the ranch and in the ranch. Not sure about that. So we can see we're very close here. Strawberry Fields, and you're here. Okay. All right, let's go. Smoking ban? Yes, it is. Cannot smoke in the park. All right. Excuse me. Is Strawberry Fields straight ahead this way?
Yeah. See at the end of this sidewalk?
Yes.
The traffic lights?
Yes.
It's flashing?
Yes.
Go there and up the hill.
Oh, turn right and up the hill.
No, just go. You'll see a path going up the hill.
Oh.
Right, it's directly in front of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Now I know. By the way, if you guys want to know how to ask for directions or ask where things are, a lot of different ways. You could say, "Excuse me, I'm wondering where Strawberry Fields is," or "Could you tell me where Strawberry Fields is?" or "Do you think you could tell me where Strawberry Fields is?" or "Where is Strawberry Fields?" Now, "where is" might sound a little bit direct, might come across as a bit too direct for some people, right? So I like to use, I think "could you tell me" is very polite. Could you tell me? Could you tell me? Daniel Webster. Now this guy, if you don't know Daniel Webster is the guy who wrote Webster's Dictionary. Liberty and union, now and forever, one and inseparable. Daniel Webster. So if you've ever used Webster's Dictionary, the Webster's Dictionary is a famous English dictionary for looking up English words. And if you've ever used it, then you've used what was originally his work. Now it's still a famous dictionary. Obviously, it's regularly updated, but he's the one who originally, we don't say he wrote Webster's Dictionary, we say he compiled Webster's Dictionary, because it's kind of a collection of words. He's not coming up with the words, right? A dictionary is not something people just make up. Like, oh, just make up the word schlargenblargen is a word, I guess. It's a green, kind of green ooze. No, you find the words that people already use, and then you define them, right? And if you do that, you are compiling a dictionary. Now we're moving up the path towards Strawberry Fields. If you weren't here at the beginning, I said we were going to Strawberry Fields the whole time. If you don't know what Strawberry Fields is, John Lennon, famous musician, one of the 4 members of the Beatles. He lived in New York and was killed, and they created a memorial to his memory, a memorial to him here in Central Park, near where he was killed, near where he lived, in a building called the Dakota Building. And many people come here to visit. Strawberry Fields, if you don't know, is a very famous Beatles song. It's a very good song. You should listen to it. I think the full song is called, I can't remember if it's just called Strawberry Fields or Strawberry Fields Forever. I always forget the full name, but if you haven't listened to this song, you should. It's very good. All right, we're coming up on it. Let's check it out. So that, I think, is the Dakota Building. Or maybe it's that. It's either that or it's that. I can't remember which one. And that's where he lived. And I think his wife, Yoko Ono, still lives there. Also, Imagine is a very famous John Lennon song. This is it here. Dakota building. Sorry.
I know either say.
Cool. Well, that's it, guys. I mean, that's Strawberry Fields. There's not much more to see than that in terms of the John Lennon Memorial. Still, it's pretty cool. You asked if it's the Upper West Side. Yeah, we are along the Upper West Side in Manhattan. You should know that because you live here. You go to Baruch. I shouldn't have to tell you. Now, I'd like to find the giant... Oh, you live in Queens. I live in Queens too. Which neighborhood do you live in, JS? Which neighborhood? I live near Kew Gardens in Queens. That's where I live. That means you have to come into Manhattan every day to go to Baruch. That's fun. Oh, College Point. Ah, okay, I know where that is. That is near Flushing. Flushing is awesome. Flushing is part of Flushing. Well, Flushing has different parts, but part of Flushing is basically where you go if you miss Chinese food. So I lived in China for a long time, and I got used to Chinese cuisine. And because of that, my wife and I regularly miss Chinese food. She's from China. And so we often, pretty much every weekend, go to Flushing to get things like mala xiangguo and hot pot and really authentic baozi and all kinds of stuff you can get. Very, very tasty, pretty authentic, not bad. Maybe not totally authentic, but pretty close. If you ever go to New York and you want to get pretty good Chinese food, you can go there. You'll say hi if you ever bump into me. Oh no, don't do that. How will I know it's you? How will I know? If you bump into me and say, I saw you in a live stream, I'll deny it. I'll say, I live stream, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never done a live stream before. I have no idea what you're talking about. Guys, do you have any other questions? Do you have any other questions I can answer? I might have missed a question before. You can ask it again. I don't want to scroll up. I know I missed a few questions earlier. I just don't want to scroll up for an hour to find them. You guys can send them again, please. I'm going to go this way a little while just because I want to see if the spire is here. Does anybody else in the live stream live in New York too? That would be cool. That would be interesting. This is starting to get quieter, a little more peaceful around this area. Oh yeah, how to ask for directions. Well, I was just explaining that. I said if you want to figure out where something is, you can ask someone, excuse me, could you tell me how to get to Strawberry Fields? Excuse me, I'm wondering how to get to Strawberry Fields. Or, I'm wondering if you could tell me how to get to Strawberry Fields. Or, you could say, can you tell me how to get to Strawberry Fields? These are probably the best ways to do it. Or if you're sure someone knows, you could say, which direction is Strawberry Fields? Which direction? That would be okay too. All of those are very common, very normal ways to ask where things are. I almost asked that guy, and then I realized I don't know what the name of the thing I want to find is. I don't know the name for that thing. What is it called? Is it called the obelisk? Is that what it's called? Maybe? The huge museum over there, I don't know if you can see that big building over there, it's called the Natural History Museum. There are dinosaur fossils and a bunch of animal fossils and skeletons. Very cool, actually. Very, very cool. I've been there many times. My brother used to work there, in fact. It's pretty awesome. And I think it might be in this direction. If I'm going the right way, or if I get lost, I could be in great danger. Lolly Lolly asks, somehow, how to use it? Or you could ask, how do I use, and then use quotation marks. Somehow. That might be a better way to ask it. How do I use somehow? Well, Lolly Lolly, from France, the answer is when you want to say that something should happen or you want it to happen. Okay, it's used in different ways. You might use it when you want to say something should happen or you want it to happen, but you don't know the way that it will happen. So if I say, I want to go to the obelisk, I must find the obelisk. We will get there somehow. Now that means I don't know the way that we will get there. The way, the how, is uncertain, is unclear, but it's going to happen. We will get there somehow, right? Or you might say something happened, but you don't know the way that it happened. You could say, for example, somehow, I lost my keys. Somehow, I lost my keys, maybe in the elevator. How do you lose your keys in the elevator? I don't know how. I did it. It just happened. Somehow it happened. Okay, so the focus there is on not knowing the why, not knowing the how. Somehow, I don't know. Somehow it happened. I don't know how. Somehow. Okay, so we're focusing on lack of knowledge. Okay, that's basically how we use it. That's how it's used. And somehow we're going to get to the cool obelisk thing from Egypt, but I just don't know how we're going to do it, but it's going to happen somehow. And somehow I ended up outside of Central Park now, but I don't know how it happened. Excuse me, sir. Do you know where the obelisk is? The big spire from Egypt? The big obelisk thing, the big tall Egyptian spire.
Hold on, let me call it and find out where that's located.
I don't know what it's called actually.
Hold on.
Thank you.
We're gonna find out.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right.
Egyptian spire, maybe?
Anybody knows where the Egyptian spire is located in the park?
That's Cleopatra's Needle.
Yeah, that's the one.
By the museum. The museum shop right over there on 79th Street on the east side.
On the east side, 79th?
Yeah, on the east side, by the drive.
East side of the drive, 79th. Thank you much.
East
This
side.
is the west. This is
I'm on the west side, on the wrong side of the park.
This is Central Park
Oh
West.
no. Okay.
So you need to go towards the east.
Oh my God.
If you walk straight, you can go through the ramble or whatever, but get yourself on the east side. He said it's on the drive.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna see the east drive, but it's in the park.
Yeah.
It's called. He just said something needle.
The
Something needle.
Cleopatra's Needle, I think.
There you go. That's
Yeah.
it.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Cool. Yeah.
All right. Have a good weekend.
Thank you so much. You
All
too.
right.
Cleopatra's Needle. All right. Cleopatra's Needle. Now I know what it's called. Cleopatra's Needle. I'm looking at a map here. Let's see. Oh, obelisk. Wow, it is far. It's far away. There it is. Obelisk. Obelisk. E81. E81. Cleopatra's Needle. Obelisk. We are here. It is here. We are here. It is here. We are here. It is here. Ah, rats. Well, I promised that somehow we would get to Cleopatra's Needle, but that was apparently a lie because there's no way that I have time to go over there because I have to meet my wife who is hungry, and if I don't get to where she is very soon, then I will somehow end up, I will go missing. So guys, I think I have to break my promise there. That's a cute dog. And I don't think we're going to make it to Cleopatra's Needle. But if you want to look it up, it's actually from ancient Egypt. It's very cool. Cleopatra is spelled Chleopatra. Cleopatra's Needle. And you can Google it, and it looks very interesting. Of course, it would have been more interesting if I could have actually taken you there, and we could have looked at it together and read the ancient inscriptions, but I can't. Gotta go. Time for lunch. We're gonna... Oh, you're from Egypt? That's cool. Very cool. Well, something from your country was taken and sent to New York, apparently. Now it's in Central Park. So guys, thank you for joining me on this adventure in Central Park. Now it has stopped raining, so that's nice. Next weekend, I'll do a live stream, but it's not going to be in New York because I will be home in Ohio for the Thanksgiving holiday. So maybe we can walk around near my mother's home and you can see what Ohio looks like. So I'm not going to be doing a poll this week for where to go, but maybe the week after that, I will do a poll and let you guys vote and decide where we're going to go. JS, you can have a nice Thanksgiving too, I hope. If you want real American Thanksgiving food, JS, and you don't have a place to go, Boston Market would be a good choice for Thanksgiving food. How to get a green card? That's a long answer and depends on your situation. Unfortunately, I can't answer that in a few words. Hey, teach us how to pick up girls just a bit. All right, that's easy. Be yourself and don't go to bars to do it if you want to meet good people. Get involved in communities, events, social situations. Be curious. Don't focus on just being impressive. Just be yourself, and the right kind of person will find you. And you'll start an interesting conversation, and you'll get to know each other. And that's the best way I know to do it. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Kind of walking quickly now back through the park. In the opposite direction, Mushroom, my wife, and I, we are planning to eat sushi for lunch, I think. There's a place in Midtown Manhattan that has what's called hand roll sushi. It's very special because they make it right in front of you very quickly. And they don't cut it into pieces like normal sushi. They give you the whole roll. And you take the roll in your hand with maybe salmon inside or whatever. You dip it in soy sauce and wasabi and you just eat it directly. You don't take it with chopsticks. You don't eat it with chopsticks. Anyway, it's very good, but it's very unique. It's sort of a California style of Japanese food, and it's interesting. So that's what we're planning to have for lunch today. Again, next weekend, Ohio, we'll do a Thanksgiving live stream. The week after that, we'll be back in New York, and I'll create a poll and let you guys vote on where we're going to go. And maybe we can go to the Brooklyn Bridge or somewhere else that might be cool in New York. Hopefully the weather will be nicer. So bring your questions, prepare your questions. If you haven't already, guys, make sure also hit the like button. That would be awesome. You've never had sushi? What? No, it doesn't stink. It's delicious. Fresh sushi is one of the best things in the world. Very healthy too. And no, it doesn't stink. Try sushi. Good sushi is amazing. Yeah, so hit the like button if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe. And if you subscribe, you should see the poll. So I post polls here on YouTube, right? So if you're subscribed, you should see that pop up in your YouTube feed. You guys can also join the Facebook group if you want. There's a Facebook group. You can just go to Facebook and search Cloud English, and there's a group that you can join and ask me questions there or whatever. It's not that busy, the group, but you can ask me questions. And guys, seriously, don't forget the, not you, JS, not you. Unsubscribe, quickly. Yeah, so Udemy is doing their course, their once a year giant Black Friday course sale right now. Every course is $9.99 or equivalent in your currency. Usually courses are $20, $30, $40, $50. Some of my courses are $80. Some of my you unsubscribe. No, subscribe again. I was joking. The new course I just launched is $179. So now's the time to get it. And some of my other courses and other courses you might want to take to improve skills, learn new things, curious about photography or drawing or whatever, check it out, okay? Link in the description. All right. Really, is it really that demanding to obtain overall 6 on IELTS? 6 is not crazy difficult to get. 7 is difficult to get, for sure, absolutely. All right, guys, I'm gonna walk really fast now. Get on the train. So, see you guys next time, and I'll talk to you later.